All right, good evening. Thanks for joining Your News Arizona. I'm Jonathan Alexander reporting. Um, Tonight, we got to see a bunch of stuff going on all over the different news headlines about the ICE shooting out there in Minnesota. And, I'd like to hear you guys' thoughts on this matter as well, with what we all got to witness and see that took place. So give me 1 second here, guys. I've got to quit sharing the screen here. Okay. Okay, anyways, of all times, my screen wants to mess up, but you guys can still see me. We got good old Tim Waltz making some comments today where he is threatening to use force with his National Guard out there in Minnesota, where he's talking about having them deployed up against our ICE agents and to have them removed. And I don't know about you guys, but to me, that's an act of an insurrection. Um, and he's calling for all Americans to support Minnesota and to get on board with what he's doing. So, actually, I'm going to go ahead and end this broadcast, and we're going to start this again. Let me, so I can get this thing to function right. Okay. Either way, I'm going to go ahead and just continue with the broadcast. I do got some stuff I want to share with what Tim Waltz had to say earlier today. And I think this might be it. Well, evidently, social media is really messing with me tonight. They don't want this being broadcasted out. Um, so let's try this again for you guys.
Good afternoon. Today I'm joined by Department of Public Safety Commissioner Bob Jacobson, Colonel Schaefer of the Minnesota National Guard, and Colonel Bogojevic of the Minnesota State Patrol. This morning we learned that an ICE officer shot and killed someone in Minneapolis. My deepest condolences to the family, to the loved ones who had to learn about this tragic event on national television. We've been warning for weeks that the Trump administration's dangerous, sensationalized operations are a threat to our public safety, that someone was going to get hurt. Just yesterday, I said exactly that. What we're seeing is the consequences of governance designed to generate fear, headlines, and conflict. It's governing by reality TV, and today that recklessness cost someone their life. I've reached out to Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem, and I'm waiting to hear back. Let me be clear, Donald Trump and his administration may not care much about Minnesota. That's been pretty evident, but we love this state. We won't let them tear us apart. We'll not turn against each other. To Minnesotans, I say this: I feel your anger. I'm angry. They want a show. We can't give it to them. We cannot. If you protest and express your First Amendment rights, please do so peacefully, as you always do. We can't give them what they want. The hearts and minds of the people in this state are on our side. To Americans, I ask you this, please stand with Minneapolis. To Minnesotans, know that our administration is going to stop at nothing to seek accountability and justice. The State Bureau of Criminal Apprehension are working on the investigation. We have activated the State Emergency Operations Center. State Patrol and Minnesota National Guard leadership is connected with the Minneapolis Police Department, the St. Paul Police Department, Hennepin County Sheriff's Office, the DNR, and Minnesota's Homeland Security and Emergency Management. We have activated dozens of members of the State Patrol's mobile response team. And from here on, I have a very simple message. We do not need any further help from the federal government. To Donald Trump and Kristi Noem, you've done enough. There's nothing more important than Minnesotan safety. I've issued a warning order to prepare the Minnesota National Guard. We have soldiers in training and prepared to be deployed if necessary. I remind you, a warning order is a heads up for folks. And these National Guard troops are our National Guard troops. They're teachers in your community, they're business owners, they're construction professionals. They are Minnesotans. Minnesota will not allow our community to be used as a prop in a national political fight. We will not take the bait. We will continue to update you, Minnesota, as we get more information. Now I'd like to turn it over to Commissioner Bob Jacobson of the Minnesota Department of Public Safety.
Thank you, Governor. As the Governor mentioned, my name is Bob Jacobson. It is my honor to serve as the Commissioner of the Minnesota Department of Public Safety. First of all, I want to acknowledge the reason that we are all here. The loss of life is not anything anyone would ever want. We fully expect that the community will want to peacefully demonstrate their anger or frustration. Minnesota residents and visitors have the right to peacefully demonstrate. We recognize that demonstrations are often driven by strong emotions, beliefs, and certainly a desire to be heard. Our role is to help ensure everyone can express themselves without anyone getting hurt. The Minnesota Department of Public Safety's role through the Minnesota State Patrol is to ensure safety, protect constitutional rights, keep roads accessible, and above all, to prevent harm. Our top priority is public safety.
Anyways, what these guys consider peaceful protests, they just got done bashing out the courthouse windows downtown there. But this is what they consider peaceful. Well, then so be it.
Safety. Our focus is keeping demonstrators, community members, drivers, and law enforcement safe, especially during moments of heightened tension or uncertainty. Demonstrations must remain safe and lawful, particularly around roadways. We will join with our partners to support safety while respecting the right to protest. With that in mind, I'd like to share a few safe and lawful ways to demonstrate. Minnesotans can safely and legally express their views in many ways, including getting together peacefully with others in public spaces, marching or walking, not on roadways, making your voice heard through chants, speeches, and displaying signs, being present in public areas where pedestrians are allowed, gathering in designated or permitted areas, and these actions will allow people to express themselves while protecting the safety of everyone involved. Unsafe or illegal actions could result in fines or arrests. Certain behaviors create serious hazards that threaten public safety, disrupt emergency services, or put people at risk. These actions could result in fines or arrest. Demonstrating on or entering a freeway on foot, walking on highways,
How about blocking
throwing
ICE
objects,
agents?
starting or setting fires, damaging property or graffiti, using illegal fireworks, displaying or using illegal weapons, reckless or dangerous driving, especially near pedestrians, and certainly assaultive, aggressive, or riotous behavior toward anyone. We all want definitive.
All right, so I'm going to quit sharing that part right there. I just want to say this much. He just got done talking about, you know, being, about peaceful protest, not to be blocking roadways, blah, blah, blah. Well, what the hell do you think the gal that got shot today was? You know, she had a vehicle parked right in front of Border Patrol. And when they went up to try to have her removed, if you slow down that video footage, guys, to and you can slow it way down and watch the rear tires when it's slowed way down. Those tires were spinning to no end. And we've actually seen the footage on it. So for that ICE agent to take action when somebody is speeding away like that, especially on um, very icy roads to top it off, that's putting a lot of lives in harm's way for starters. And number two, he did get hit. I see a lot of people saying that didn't happen, but he did get hit. And if I'm not mistaken, it appears she might have ran over his foot as well. But regardless of what the point is, those guys were there trying to do their job, and she had been out taunting them all day long as it was, following these guys around everywhere, and then blocking their vehicles in like these protesters keep doing. They just constantly are creating conflict, and I knew it was a matter of time before we would see loss of life. But for Tim Walz to make that announcement today and be telling Donald Trump, Chrissy Noem, and these people that he's going to be calling in his National Guard, um, that's asking your National Guard to uprise against the Trump administration. And to me, that's it. An insurrection. That's also inciting violence. And quite frankly, I think it's just a matter of time, and we're just going to really see all hell breaking out. And I don't think it's just going to be with Minnesota. I think we're going to be seeing it all around the country. And right now, tonight, there's been a large rising around the country over this shooting today. And of course, ICE can never do no right. And the Democrats would paint this guy out to be a murderer, everything in the book. And again, when someone's speeding right towards you, I mean, it's his duty to also protect life around them. And there was a lot of people there today protesting, and this woman could have very well hit anybody, um, not just him. So I personally believe he took legal um, steps and did what he needed to do to eliminate the situation. And so if you guys disagree with me, you're entitled to your opinions on it. But I can tell you right now, somebody speeding at me with a vehicle, chances are I'm going to probably shoot them. It's that simple. So, and then I want to get to another report here. And this is Tim Walz saying they're going to do nothing. Okay, is this one I want to share? Let's make sure this ain't the same one I was wanting to share. Okay.
Are a threat to our public safety, that someone was going to get hurt. Just yesterday, I said exactly that. What we're seeing is the consequences of governance designed to generate fear, headlines, and conflict. It's governing by reality TV. And today that recklessness cost someone their life. I've reached out to Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem, and I'm waiting to hear back. Let me be clear. Donald Trump and his administration may not care much about Minnesota. That's been pretty evident. But we love this state. We won't let them tear us apart. We'll not turn against each other. To Minnesotans, I say this. I feel your anger. I'm angry. They want a show. We can't give it to them. We cannot. If you protest and express your First Amendment rights, please do so peacefully, as you always do. We can't give them what they want. The hearts and minds of the people in this state are on our side. To Americans, I ask you this, please stand with Minneapolis. To Minnesotans, know that our administration is going to stop at nothing to seek accountability and justice. The State Bureau of Criminal Apprehension are working on the investigation. We have activated the State Emergency Operations Center. State Patrol and Minnesota National Guard leadership is connected with the Minneapolis Police Department, the St. Paul Police Department, Hennepin County Sheriff's Office, the DNR, and Minnesota's Homeland Security and Emergency Management. We have activated dozens of members of the State Patrol's mobile response team. And from here on, I have a very simple message. We do not need any further.
All right, so we're going to skip past that. I want to share with a report from Christy Noam from earlier. Sickens me to listen to that man.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here tonight. I want to start out by addressing the loss of life that we saw here in Minneapolis today. Any loss of life is a tragedy, and I think all of us can agree that in this situation it was preventable. I've spoken to the president today on the situation here on the ground. I also just got off the phone a little while ago with Governor Walz and spoke to him as well. I want to reiterate first with all of you the facts of what happened today. At 10:25 a.m. Central Time, Immigration and Customs Enforcement were carrying out lawful operations here in Minneapolis. Because of the adverse weather that Minneapolis has seen in recent snow, one of the vehicles became stuck and ensnared in the snow. Law enforcement were attempting to push out this vehicle, and when a mob of agitators that were harassing them all day began blocking them in, shouting at them, and impeding law enforcement operations. ICE officers and agents approached the vehicle of the individual in question, who was blocking the officers in with her vehicle, and she had been stalking and impeding their work all throughout the day. ICE agents repeatedly ordered her to get out of the car and to stop obstructing law enforcement, but she refused to obey their commands. She then proceeded to weaponize her vehicle, and she attempted to run a law enforcement officer over. This appears as an attempt to kill or to cause bodily harm to agents, an act of domestic terrorism. The ICE officer, fearing for his life and the other officers around him and the safety of the public, fired defensive shots. He used his training to save his own life and that of his colleagues. He was treated at a local hospital, has been released, and is now with family. I encourage the American people at this point in time to pray for him, but also to pray for the deceased's family and her loved ones. Today alone in this country, there have been 4 different domestic terrorist attacks on federal officers by the ramming of vehicles. 3 of them happened here in Minneapolis. We've seen over 100 of these vehicle rammings happen in just recent weeks, and this must stop. ICE alone is facing a 1,300% increase in assaults against them and an 8,000% increase in death threats against all of them. In fact, the very same officer.
Now, I want you guys to really listen to that closely. Listen to the amount of death threats these ICE agents are already getting daily. And what, 13,000% in threats alone. It's at a point right now, these ICE agents don't know if somebody is speeding away to try to just get away, or if they're speeding away to try to ram them and kill them. And again, today, just in Minneapolis alone, 4 different incidents of car rammings. And these people actually did carry it out. And this could have been this could have very well ended in a different way too. She could have very well ended up killing somebody or lost control and ran the guy completely over. This is the kind of stuff we're dealing with here in America. And the Democrats seem to defend this kind of behavior, and that's their goal. They want to defend every last thing that these protesters are doing. It's basically the hell with ICE. We're out to protect these illegals and everything in the book. I'm frustrated again tonight, guys. This has just gotten completely out of hand. Now they're out protesting again tonight out there in Minnesota. And I guess they bashed up the courthouse pretty good as well. And these are supposedly they're peaceful protesters. That's creating a lot of havoc out there in Minnesota right now. And I guess they, in one area, they went chasing after the police, and the police retreated. So this is reports I've gotten as well. So again, I think we're going to see a lot more um, just chaos going on around the country, kind of like George Floyd and other incidents that I can remember in the past. We're going to see rioting, the burning cities, whatever, just trying to make an example. And this is just going to progress, and that's what I'm predicting, and that's what I'm starting to already see. So we've heard that part right there. Want to skip over to what Donald Trump has to say. So we're going to go ahead and okay, and I think this is the one here.
ICE-involved shooting. These are live pictures from Minneapolis. There are videos, as we speak, going around social media showing what happened earlier today between protesters and ICE. We're working on bringing you those videos. You can see one of them on your screen as we speak. Basically, here's what it describes. It shows agents in a truck pulling up to a car that appears to be blocking the road. The two agents get out. They walk up to the driver's side of the car. From there, things escalate quickly. One agent touches the car, and the driver starts driving backwards with the agent's hand still on the car. The driver then hits the gas while another agent appears to be standing in front of the vehicle. That agent, more in front of the car, appears to open fire as the car barrels towards him. DHS telling Fox News the officer who fired the shots had been dragged by a car last June in Minneapolis. We've since learned the driver of the car who was shot was a 37-year-old woman.
Are you still on live?
I'm live right now.
Trump has weighed in just the last 30 minutes.
Online.
He wrote, I have just viewed the clip of the event which took place in Minneapolis.
No, hold on a
It is
second.
a horrible thing to watch. The woman screaming was obviously a professional agitator.
Can I call you back
The
in
woman
1 second?
driving the car was very disorderly, obstructing
Yeah, I'm
and
almost done.
resisting,
Right,
who
bye.
then violently, willfully, and viciously ran over the ICE officer who seems to have shot her in self-defense. It is hard to believe he is alive, but is now recovering in the hospital. The situation is being studied in its entirety. But the reason these incidents are happening is because the radical left is threatening, assaulting, and targeting our law enforcement officers and ICE agents on a daily basis. They are just trying to do the job of making America safe. We need to stand by and protect our law enforcement officers from this radical left movement of violence and hate. Now, not long after the incident, just a few hours ago, we saw chaos already beginning between law enforcement and rioters on the streets of Minneapolis. Watch.
Kill someone else! Don't get killed for this. It's not worth it, man. Go another way! Move! Go another way! Move! Go another way! Behind us! Move!
Get out of the way! Get out! Chris, get out the way! Get out the way of the truck! Move! 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 Nazis! Nazis! Nazis!
Tense in a city that not even 6 years ago was destroyed by political tension, by lawlessness, by agitators. And on that note, not long after that moment you saw on your screen, Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey held a news conference where he basically begged for this to be 2026 George Floyd.
I have a message for ICE. To ICE, get the out of Minneapolis. We do not want you here. Your stated reason for being in this city is to create some kind of safety, and you are doing exactly the opposite.
Trust me, I have a lot to say about Mayor Jacob Frey and how he's handling what's happening in
So do I. I didn't even know the man could speak English. He was always speaking another language. So kind of nice to see the fucker can speak English.
Minneapolis. We're going to get to that in just a moment. But just in the last few minutes, Democrat Minnesota Governor Tim Walz also found a podium.
I have a very simple message. We do not need any further help from the federal government.
All right. So anyways, guys, this is what we're dealing with. This is what our ICE agents are dealing with. It's going to, like I said, I think it's going to continue to progress. And I think we're going to see this happening all around the country. And this is the way these Democrats work. They'll start out in one area, and then it goes from city to city nationwide. And if you got some rioting and different things going on over today's shooting, where you're at, I'd love to hear from you, or send me some footage on it. yournewsarizona@gmail.com, or you can call into my studio anytime, 928-385-4738. We'd love to hear what you have and what you can have to offer to share to the public. But anyways, just wanted to get that out there about Tim Walz right now, threatening to use National Guard forces to go up against our ICE agents and have them removed out of I keep wanting to say Michigan. Anyways, it's been a long day, guys. Been covering a lot of different events. So for those of you guys out there in Minnesota, especially our Patriot family out there, you guys watch your surroundings right now. They are launching a full-scale attack on journalists right now, anybody reporting out there. And I see several podcasters right now asking for security guys to be able to work with them out there. They're happy to pay them. So if you guys know of anybody that can do security out there to help protect our podcasters, reach out to me, and I'll see to it that we get the information over to them. Because there's going to be a lot being covered over the next several days on this matter, as well as what's going to be happening most likely in several other cities around America. So, all right, guys, I've got to be up early. Got a lot of broadcasts I'm working on right now. And if any more news arises, I'll get it shared out there to you guys tonight. Other than that, I'll plan on seeing you at 10 a.m. Mountain Time, 9 Pacific tomorrow, and have an interview with the gentleman who's running for office. And so we're going to be interviewing him right on Your News Arizona. So hope you guys can tune into that. And other than that, we'll see you tomorrow. God bless you guys, and be safe out there, America.